10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Dazzle.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Master.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Prepare for battle.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, panel. My name's Odie Pixel. I'm here with Cinder and Dota.
Did you just adjust your chair so you're taller than me?
And we're ready to get ourselves into NiP versus Monkey Business. Hit it. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much, producers. And we are in. And Cinder and we are having a little bit of chat about this before the game got underway. And
like this.
All right, I'll raise my chest if it makes you feel more comfortable.
Okay, yeah.
I don't want to make you feel too tall.
It's all good.
Goddamn giraffe.
We're good.
Anyway, Cinderin, drafts. What you liking? What you're not liking?
I don't know. I feel like this is I think the panel hit the nail on the head in their analysis when they said these lineups are weird. So they did a great job on that, honestly. For me, maybe slight edge for NiP. I think the synergy between the early pushing that Jakiro and Lycan cannot put together is really powerful. And then, of course, they do have the very old classic vacuum into ice path combination that they can run an Ember Spirit on top of, so that's nice. Monkey Business, this might be an awkward type of game where both teams will just trade towers, where Beastmaster and Prophet are going to try to dodge the fights and trade when Lycan and Jakiro show up in a lane, because I don't think Monkey Business have very good team fight early on to just fight into a 5-man push.
Okay, I mean, in terms of the push, I mean, you have got that, but as you said with the Beastmaster and Nature's Prophet, do you think that kind of makes it... It is a more powerful push that's going to be coming out from the side of Monkey Business?
I think NiP's is faster.
Okay.
It is a support Jakiro, so he will need to reach level 7. I would be very surprised if Hanskin does not max Liquid Fire in this game. That just seems to me that would be the logical choice. He might get 1 point in Dual Breath only, and then max Ice Path and Liquid Fire, so they can do a very good vacuum combo. But yeah, I'm just curious to see. I think they had a good point too with Moon Meander that if he gets off to a good laning start here, this is the kind of game where Prophet can really put a lot of pressure. There isn't very good catch on the Radiant to stop a Prophet if he goes for a classic Bulldog-esque build with maybe Shadow Blade. that could be a choice here.
I do kind of like the fact that they have got that Ember Spirit, though, against the Nature's Prophet, in the sense that Limp could be pushing out lane with the team, drop a Remnant, go to where the Nature's Prophet's applying the pressure, look to harass him, force him back, and then return to the push with the rest of the team. So in terms of kind of dealing with the Nature's Prophet, NiP have certainly got tools to do so.
Yeah, it's true. I should have considered Ember. He's decent catch against Prophet. It's not the same logic as Clockwork, but it's kind of similar, right? You see him,
jump around the trees.
You jump in, instead of jumping in with Hookshot into Cogs, you jump in with Remnant into Chains, so that's similar. But, of course, after you get chained, you can just teleport out.
Oh, Limp may be in a bit of trouble there. They've got the shards down. He's going to get the Searing Chains off, but the RNG's not there for him. McCrit's going to still be able to chase him, but they can't quite bring him down. So.
That was lucky for No Tail. If those chains catch him, he
was dead.
He will turn around and get that kill for Limp. In a 1-on-2 situation, getting first blood like that would really put him far ahead in the lane.
Darkseer, Jonathan fan, obviously a very strong laning hero. It's very easy to get the farm, very hard for the other team to interrupt it. And with just having a Dazzle and AM here, these surely aren't really the best heroes to deal with the Iron Shell spam.
This is a pretty easy lane for Darkseer. Yeah. The challenge, or the only thing Fly really needs to ensure, is that the thing that's currently happening only happens with their creeps. As long as Jonas isn't allowed to pull to the left and get his own creep wave killed in here, they're doing okay. Jonas can't tank these creeps right now, and Fly also did some really good harassment damage with Shadow Wave, so that was pretty nice. But he didn't stop the pull. I'm a little bit surprised. Okay, it's not the end of the world since the camp is dying now, so it actually... Oh, no, he does stop it a little bit.
And in terms of in the mid lane, Limp's it's pretty even on CS, 12 for 1, 10 for 1. We've got obviously Seal Kid hanging around with the Bane. You keep seeing Tusk coming back in as well. I mean, is which kind of the duels combo should win this lane, do you feel?
I'm gonna say Bane Ember, because they can't break Flame Guard. Axes are physical, and Tusk doesn't have enough damage, especially not when he's level 1, to remove the Flame Guard. And it's such a powerful tool if they do decide to turn around. Well, it's not really a very good Ice Shard there from Crit, unfortunately.
It's so hard to go on him, especially with Seal Kid just hanging around, ready with a defensive Nightmare, or aggressive if need be. And well, the kind of lane we haven't really talked about too much, down on the bottom lane, the MP. Moon Meanders, he's doing alright so far. He's managed to find 13 CS, and I mean, is it a little bit surprising that the Jakiro hasn't been able to harass him back more, or is this kind of expected that the Natures is still going to be able to find something from the soft lane?
This is a pretty bad lane against Prophet. Wait, he's TPing somewhere? Oh, he cancelled. Okay, so the reason being that he can always just send his trance onto the Jakiro, and Jakiro is the one being harassed away. While he does that, he can still last hit. He can pretty much go toe-to-toe with the Lycan. They have about the same damage. It's just not that easy. You're seeing it right now. Hanskin has to run away from these 3 treants, and it allows Moon Meander to get a one-on-one that he is losing slightly, which is expectable against the Lycan when all the treants are harassing, but it's still very good for him. And he obviously had the pull blocked for the entire first 4 minutes. Now finally it's going to be open for NiP. That changes the dynamic of the lane a lot. Yeah,
it certainly seems like Moon's having a great time dealing with the Jakiro. And well, so far 4 minutes in, no one to drop as of yet. Everyone's finding their farm. The 2 position ones, you've got 26 CS on your anti-mage, 22 on the Lycan. I mean, in kind of the terms that we are running a position 1 Lycan against a position 1 anti-mage, I guess is there going to be a point of the game where if NiP haven't closed it up, they're going to be in a lot of trouble?
If AM free farms, then yes, but there's like this sweet spot. It's actually a pretty classic matchup if you go back a year and a half or something like that, where Lycan was actually one of the counter picks to AM. Oh, wait a second, in mid lane, Limp is actually in a lot of trouble.
Oh, the Braid Sap and the Nightmare. Nice player from Seal Kid, maybe enabling them to turn it around. No, they won't be able to go on to Crit, but I mean, that was really nice. Bursting down Big Daddy so he doesn't proceed any further and just holding back Crit with a Nightmare.
And they might try to refill the bottle with a TP of some sort. No, they can't do it. So Limp is still in a bit of trouble here. But yeah, what I was getting at is Lycan is a good theoretical counter to AM, because AM needs time to farm and come online, and Lycan comes online at like minute. If he gets free farm, 15 to 20 is when he has a Necro Book and a Vlad's, and then the towers and the team fights will just happen right away. So Monkey has to be able to respond either by pushing a lot themselves as well, or, yeah, by pushing a lot themselves as well, because their lineup is pretty bad for team fighting, I think. At least early on. Until AM gets farmed, they have to try to play that kind of game.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the Lycan, I mean, we talked earlier about NiP's kind of catch potential for the Nature's Prophet, but then turn it on its head, what's Monkey Business catch for the Lycan once he pops the ultimate? I guess they've pretty much got to use the Primal Roar each and every time, or get lucky with the Ice Shards, because otherwise, he's just going to be running the hell out of there, and as we can see on the bottom lane, they've already found a tower. Crit did manage to get the deny, though.
It's very important that Monkey gets these denies if they're able to, because It's the way they prevent NiP from getting too far ahead on gold mid lane.
He's got to be careful there, Limp. Big Daddy certainly has the punches.
But yeah, you're right. It's difficult for them to lock down the Lycan with anything else but the Roar. Yeah, they have Snowball and they have Tusk's ult, obviously, but it's not that great. He can always just clawing out a Sprout.
Yeah.
Dazzle doesn't really pose any threat with the slow of his Poison Touch that he hasn't skilled. I don't even know if he will skill it this game. I feel like it's not really a good Poison Touch game.
Damage empowers me.
Well, still at the moment, 42 CS on this anti-mage. He is having a pretty good time. He's got the old rings out, so he's going to be feeling pretty safe in lane. TP's coming out to the mid. We're going to see Big Daddy fill back up his bottle as he passes over to Fly. And Limp has got that DD and an Iron Shell on him as well. He's moving very aggressively round here. He's going to see crit potentially. Now, it looks like he's able to duke it out through the line. Limp will continue to wrap back round, but he's obviously very deep, but he knows that he's got that Remnant back there. And in terms of stopping him from zipping to the Remnant, unless they get the Roar down, they're not going to be able to.
Yeah, Limp really wanted to find any target there. When you have a double damage and Flame Guard and Iron Shell,
it's a lot of damage.
He could win pretty much any 1-on-2 in that situation right there. I think the damage he would output would be through the roof, but yep. Doesn't find anything. He's back to pushing out the middle lane, but so far, 7 minutes in. I think this is the slowest first blood of the tournament. Monkey Business are ahead with a bit of gold here, 1,500. That's the tower, or never mind. They actually got the deny on the tower. So that's a pretty decent lead, considering...
I like this.
They even lost the tower.
As soon as that rolls online, they look for some action. They're trying to find Era. They don't find the Snowball Stun, but now with the Nature's Prophet ult coming in, the defensive Nightmare's there to provide some sustainable for Era, but the Peel Bomb comes out. First blood for crit. Now the wall's been dropped. Limp trying to move in with the Searing Chase, looking for Fly. He'll get the kill onto Fly. Big Daddy with the TP straight out will be able to escape. So it is a 1-for-1 there between the sides, but Monkey Business were able to get themselves their first blood, and it was worth it. They take down the position 1, and they only lose the support.
Yeah, this is very good. And at the same time, of course, Miracle is free farming, and this is now what I was expecting to happen is happening. Moon Meander has now rotated, and now he's trying to put the pressure onto NiP, so they have to play defensively. They're gonna put the Prophets up with the level 4 and Nature's Call and just start pushing this tower up. And the response from NiP is probably going to be, well, you know what, we're just going to push mid.
Yeah, let's go in, have a bit of action. The Ice Path comes out, catches out Big Daddy. Limp, can he get himself out? No, the axes are there. They'll lose the Ember Spirit, but they find the Beastmaster in turn. Era moving in with the ultimate, trying to chase down Fly. There's a Shallow Grave in 2 seconds. Can he get it out? Oh, maybe! Oh! The walls finish him off, and now they'll chase down Crit as well. They might be able to find themselves a third kill, and they will. Era with a fantastic rotation to the mid lane, finding himself a double kill. 3 kills overall for the side. They do lose Limp, but NiP will take that trade any day of the week.
And Hanskin's going to deny himself to neutrals. Very nicely done. Yeah, that's good. That's good for Era. Getting that double kill. Sure, it's just 2 supports, but still. They give a decent amount of gold this early on in the game, and it really furthers the game plan. Of course, AM is starting to pull ahead in the raw CS numbers right now. And of course, in net worth, he's also ahead by 1,000. But that's not something NiP can't manage. They just... The thing here is their lineup is probably more difficult to execute, so they can't afford making many mistakes. I would say there's a 5 to 10 minute window where they're just flat out stronger than Monkey Business, and they're staying on track to reach that window at the right time.
Yeah, one thing that I do really like as well is Mumianta. The fact his farm's been pretty well. He is going to get a pretty decent timing on the Orchid.
Yeah, it's a great item against the Earth, the Ember Spirit in particular. Also, decent counter to Bane. It's very difficult to Fiend Script if you know there's just a teleporting Orchid that could come in at any time and reinforce. It's actually good against every single Radiant hero apart from the Lycan.
They've got a lot of escape, and if you can get that down, get a bit of backup in with the initiation potential of the Beastmaster and the Tusk, and you should be able to find yourself some good pickups around the map. Yeah, Beastmaster, of course, going for that straight up Necro Book to add to this pushing power. And it's going to be interesting, really, to see. I mean, in this kind of game, does Tusk still go for the Blink Dagger next on crit, or will he be looking for something else against this lineup?
I think he gets Greaves.
Okay.
With Beastmaster not going mech, I think someone has to get mech against this Radiant lineup. There's so much AoE magical damage coming through from Jakiro and, of course, the Ember Spirit and Darkseer. They have to find some sort of way of negating that, because the push will come. And the more teamfight items they have ready for it, the better. Or they just play the complete split push game, but I still don't think there's a much better item for crits, to be honest.
This Sentry Ward is just saving NiP so much. They know that Big Daddy's there. They're going to move in and maybe try and catch it, but I think he's just out of range of the Sentry. He'll turn around with the Roar onto Limp, but there's 5 heroes on the side of NiP. They're going to try and fight. They've actually dropped the wall here, which will force Monkey Business to be back up a little bit, but that is the wall down, and Monkey Business Might try and fight back into this one. They don't have the Roar though, and it looks like NiP realised that this was just a bit of a messy engagement. Limp's going to TP himself back to base. He has got a Remnant out, so may rejoin the fight if it continues, but it's going to be a bit of a passive push onto the tower here, and no one really jumping on each other's throats yet.
I think Monkey are really satisfied with how long this is taking NiP.
Yeah.
They will eventually get the tower, but this took them a very long time. And at the same time, Moon Meander is pushing down bottom. They're free farming the AM top. He is going to have Battle Fury in about 1,000 gold right now, so that could be minute 13, 14 with treads and an extra ring of regen. So that is a very good time. Miracle actually has 100 CS almost minute 11. So pretty much uncontested.
This has got to be a big issue, because at this point as well, if you're looking to try and kill the AM, you've got to commit almost certainly multiple heroes, and if you're doing that, there's always going to be the window for NiP, the Nature's Prophet, MP, and the Beastmaster to find the other lanes and start getting that back door on.
Yeah, look at the bottom lane. He's just scouting a little bit here with the Treant, of course, looking for any sort of opening for crit and fly.
Oh.
And Jonas is running in. He is actually dead if he runs up right now.
Yeah, they've drawn the
He's
lines
dead
to go
anyway.
down. Yeah, they spotted him out. Crit should be able to find the shards here, and he will. Straight in onto the Darkseer with the punch as well. The heal bomb to finish him off, and a very nice execution there from Fly and Crit at the
This is a
moment.
big kill if they catch Miracle, though.
Oh, the bleak out! He gets himself away. The damage over time is not going to be enough, and now with the Sprout to Hansken, it looks like Monkey Business may be able to turn this one around. They've got the Roar as well, straight into the Jakiro. Hansken will drop, almost certainly, and they find themselves a second kill top, and that was just some fantastic reactions there from Monkey Business, and the fact that Miracle survived, I've got to say, that point in Spell Shield saved his backside there.
Yeah, he is. Interestingly enough, he has only
Not done yet.
He's only put 2 points into stats, right?
Look at this.
That's good enough.
Flying Crit. Fly's been nightmared up. He does have a shallow grave. They may just have to let this one go, though. Yeah, the crit comes through there, and Arrow will be able to find himself the kill. So 5 for 4, and NiP should be able to find themselves a tier 1 here as well. So still 13 minutes in. I don't know. It still feels like anyone's game here. It just depends how the next pretty much 10 minutes or so goes. I think we'll kind of have a more definite leader in this game.
And here we go again, bottom lane, right?
Oh, God.
Monkey. All right, we lost our tower. We're going to trade, and we're going to go for the bottom tower. This is exactly what they need to be doing. NiP can kind of call it a successful engagement. Even though they lost 2 for 1, they still denied Miracle a little bit of farm, bought some time. They got the tower, but still. This is a 13-minute Battle Fury with treads. Now we're starting to go on that timer where how fast can Lycan get a Necro 3? He currently has Vlad's and a Medallion, so they could go Roche very soon. And I don't know if Monkey can contest that. I think it's very difficult for them to find the Roche.
Daddy's got a Roar. He's going to pop it straight away onto Arrow here. Now moving with the shards as well. There will be a defensive nightmare, providing Arrow some survivability, but the wall's being dropped now. Now it looks like it's Monkey Business trying to get themselves back. Limp incredibly low, will Remnant out. Now Big Daddy moving forward, the Ice Path comes out, catches Crit, the Dual Breath, and the ults as well, bringing Crit low. I won't be able to quite tick him down. They're trying to move in. Seal Kid looking for the brain sap. Okay, there we go. Liquid Fire there from Hansken. Does get a final touch onto the Tusk. They look for Fly as well. The final second. Ice Path very nicely laid out there by the Jakiro. They'll try and chase this down. They get the slow onto Big Daddy as well. He will be able to get himself back up to the high ground. Looks like
those
he'll be
Lycan
okay.
wolves with Iron Shell are so filthy to play against, actually. Just double invis units with shells running next to you. You can't really deal with them very well. Even if you have True Sight, you still have to physically attack them to kill them.
Yeah.
And that means you're tanking the Iron Shell with these 2 or 3 melee heroes that Monkey has.
Look at this, Cinder, in bottom lane.
Yeah.
Miracle's just using the space and time absolutely perfectly, and he's pretty much going to get himself a free tier 2 here.
Yeah, and they got the mid-tier 1 as well with the Prophet.
Yeah.
Very purposely dodging that fight with the Prophet. I think he might have been able to TP in and take part, but he didn't have the Orchid yet. If he had it, I think he would have joined. So, trading again, putting pressure mid, forcing the rotation again from NiP to defend, and I honestly think this is good enough for Monkey. They're 3,000 golden experience ahead, and now we're approaching the time when NiP, in my opinion, have 10 minutes to start getting something really significant like a Roshan in the remaining tier 2s and maybe even knock on the door of the base, or it's going to get a little bit tricky for the next 10.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, right? You look at it and then you're like, okay, then Monkey are going to be really strong when AM is farmed, but then if it goes late enough, there's an Ember and a Lycan against that AM, and then it can get difficult again.
It's true. It's true. There's definitely kind of ups and downs for both sides in terms of the late game. I think one thing that's going to be really huge for the sides, I mean, you've already mentioned it, the fact that, you know, the NiP side may look to go for Roshan. If Monkey Business are able to take that Rosh away from them with the Nature's Prophet and with the fact that Miracle's pretty much got the Vlads online, that's going to be huge then if the Dire can take that away from the Radiant.
Yeah. They ping it out.
Yeah.
There was a wolf in there. Now they're going to spawn Treants just to scout here. Yes, Roshan is the big deal in this game. NiP don't have the best Aegis carrier in the Lycan. It's pretty good on Ember, I would say, though. But Lycan, of course, transformation-based hero. The first or the second life is pretty weak.
Oh, the smoke's up here. I honestly see the
Or does he
treants.
respawn in Shapeshift now? Because, who is it? Metamorphosis? If you respawn with Aegis, or when you respawn in general, you keep Metamorphosis, but that's only for that hero, right?
I don't think it's the
I
same
can't
for
remember if Lycan keeps his form.
Oh, you're the expert, Sind.
No.
No, apparently
You've
not.
established that
Well,
with a dank meme a long
That
time ago.
Dream League did well with who they're employing, didn't they? Good job, Sin.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Anyway, 7-4, 16 minutes in. As you keep saying, you know, it does feel like NiP are on a little bit of a timer, but they do have the Ember as it goes late. But at the same time, surely any day of the week, a late game anti-mage will beat a late game Ember.
Yes, but a very, very late game Anti-Mage against a very, very late game Lycan and Ember is not that clear cut.
Okay.
That's why. So AM farms faster, and that means he's obviously going to get fully itemized earlier. But when all of these heroes are stacked, it's not really that predictable anymore. This is the moment right here.
Yeah. I mean, Big Daddy, does he really go for this? I think he's going to pay with his life. He tries to go with the Ron to Jonas and Fanny. Well, actually knocks Steel Kid onto the high ground. Dazzle trying to right-click away from him. They do still get Roshan. Ember Spirit will pick up the Aegis.
I get killed by the Dire. What?
Oh, okay, I think... All right.
Was that a
Alrighty.
boar or something? Like, what did they kill this with?
Well, they got it nonetheless.
Bouncing Prophet ult? I don't know. Well, okay, so they got the Aegis. They didn't get the Roche kill, and they lost a tier 2 top to AM and Prophet. They're just split pushing them very well.
He's nearly double the net worth now of the Ember. It's...
Yeah. This is good enough for Monkey. I think they're leading this game pretty clearly right now. With that Roshan steal as well, yes, sure, the Aegis still did go the way of NiP, but it's another about 1,000 gold in the bank accounts of Monkey that I don't think they realistically expected to get there. That was just fortunate. Crick went for Blink, by the way, so you were right.
All right, okay.
I definitely thought he would go for Greaves, but if they are playing, if they're committing fully on the split push, dodge fights kind of style, and they just want to try to skirmish, then Blink is probably the better choice.
Yeah, I guess as you said, pretty much bang on. They're not really pushing as a 5-man at all, the side of Monkey business. They're just waiting for NiP to commit and come to them and saying, right, we'll go elsewhere across the map then.
If the early game didn't go as well as it has, he would have gone mech, I think. But they think they can actually just avoid it. If NiP were knocking on their front door and they were like, we have to teamfight this, they would be in trouble. But because AM got so good of an early game and Prophet is already putting the pressure he is, NiP can't even go for the tier 3 right now, in my opinion. They're going to have to go back. And they're currently pinging out Miracle. And they got the tier 2, that's great, but can't really break the base. And Monkey, they have a pretty good idea of how the economy is going in this game right now.
Indeed, and Jakira, interesting enough, did pick up a vitality booster, so hold that thought. Going to be the roll straight onto Steel Kid, moving in as well. The Snowball, they'll find the kill onto the Bane. Now Crit is stuck in the middle of the 3 of them. Look at the damage coming out from Era. They'll get themselves a return kill. Now he changes his attention towards Mumianda, but there's 3 of them there. They'll turn around, blink forward from Miracle, finds the kill there with a Mana Void, brings down the Lycan. It's 2 for 1 so far, maybe even more as Miracle's trying to get Limp here. Limp will Remnants away, but moves there. Trying to get with the right click, says the second Remnant, moves himself back out, but already Miracle with a double kill as they made it 3 for 1. There's the TP in from Nature's Prophet, a little bit off the mark, can't quite catch up to Limp. They're going to try and chase it. Getting the treants out, Miracle moving in, he's a little bit faster than this Ember Spirit, and this looks like it could be the 3rd kill in the fight here for Miracle. Will pop the Aegis, the question is can they kill him again?
He's dead.
Yeah, they've got, look at the heal bombs that are going to come out. Yeah, bam, there we go, Limp getting shut down with the Orchid, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Another kill here for the side of Monkey business, and it's fights like these that are really going to put NiP on the back foot this game.
Yeah, it's looking really grim. They didn't have the Darkseer in the fight. He had to be back and defend against the AM, and the AM TPs to the tier 2, and they just outnumber them. The split push is a really big issue for NiP to deal with. They don't have good heroes for it. I think the one hero who has to do more is the Ember, where they need to play more around Remnants, and this might be one of those games where you have to get Boots of Travel on Ember just to be able to put some sort of a global threat, because it is the split push game they're losing on. Either that or you really hard commit to that base push, but Ember is pretty bad at that in general. So.
I mean, he's already saving up about 1,300 gold, so... I mean, as you said, do you think he's got to get bots? There's no way he looks for just to kind of go for the damage items and just to hope that, you know, the rest of his team can be there. We've obviously already seen them just send back the Darkseer to deal with the counter push, but...
I think just pushing the base is out of the question now for NiP. If they read the situation correctly with farm, they're too far behind to actually make that play now. Only Lycan and Jakiro with their respectively with all the damage from Necrobook and the Liquid Fire can do it.
He's coming with an A standing invis in Big Daddy.
Oh, it's a big kill.
He's ready to go straight on to look at the damage with the Necro units. Easy kill. Easy solo kill there for the BDN. Damn.
Yeah, this Monkey are just playing really well. There's the 20-minute Manta with Lads as well. The farm on this Anti-Mage has got to be really, really high. His GPM is approaching 700, only 21 minutes in, so this is very, very high.
Miracle. I mean, I think it's exactly as you said. It just seems like Monkey Business have read the situation. They know what NiP are trying to do, and they're just playing around it perfectly.
Yeah.
And at the moment, at least, it looks like NiP are struggling to have an answer for this response that Monkey Business have come out. It's going to be a Blink Dagger now picked up by Big Daddy. But the Necrobooks, they've been upgraded here on the Lycan, so they obviously do still have this really superior power of push. But, I mean, once you've already taken all of the outer tier towers, which they've nearly done, there's just a tier 2 on the bottom, it's just a question of whether you're going to be able to break high ground with their lineup, and it's going to be very hard to do against what Monkey Business have got in the game.
They can't kill Miracle in any other way than Fiend's Grip. He's going to be able to play so freely in this game. The Ember... Slight to chains, he can just Manta. If he gets Ice Path into, or vacuumed into an Ice Path or something, there's not enough damage. The Bane absolutely has to be there for this to work out. And as a result, Miracle can just really farm away and split push. I don't know, you know, NiP are 10,000 gold behind, but...
He's pretty deep here. He's probably going to die, unless he can play this... They're going for him with the smoke. Fly's like, alright guys, they found me! Walks into the Ice Path. Era's turning up as well for a bit of the action. He'll pop the Shallow Grave. Can he try and TP out of this one? No, it looks like he's just going to accept his fate and take it, but space created, I guess, because top lane Mumianza's there with a push.
There's a 314 gold kill, and it goes to Jakiro. It's not even worth it for NiP to expend a smoke on that and find that kill, because they can't get any secondaries. They have to constantly go back to defend against this push.
Okay, and I was going to mention this earlier with the VIP boost on Hanskin. So we were talking actually before how you were saying Tranquil's yours. He's going for the Tranquil's Rod.
I don't really think Atos is that good this game. I'm not feeling the purpose it serves here.
I mean, because there's always going to be the blink. You know, you're always going to be able to pick people up in the snowball. Having the yours, you're able to kind of get that Ice Path combination down.
Lycan outruns anyone anyway, so he doesn't need the slow for his carry to hit. Emperor is super mobile, so he doesn't need it either. They also have Surge. I mean, how much mobility do you want and still get an Atos? I get that the stats are great for the cure, like all the intel and the health, of course, makes him really tanky. It's great. I think Eul's just would give them more flexibility, or if he wanted to go really greedy, he could have tried to build up even a Hex as his first item, just so they had something against the AM, or maybe a 4-step against the Roar and the Sprout. This, to me, is not the item for this game.
Well, again, bottom lane, 4 heroes from the side of NiP. Moving in, they did spot out Crit. They'd love to find the kill, and that vacuum beautifully done by Jonas and Fam. Yeah, Crit's going to be in a bit of trouble here. And there's that Rod coming into play. We'll set up the Ice Path there, and there we go.
You know what also sets up Ice Path?
Dual Scepter.
Yep. so you don't need it for that
good
either.
Analysis, yeah.
I guess the advantage is the cooldown is shorter. It's only a 10-second cooldown, so that's great. But I'm also known as being a notorious hater of Rod of Atos, so maybe it's not fair. I think that item is very rarely a good pick.
Scarf Mage?
Yeah, he's one of the few heroes that I think it's really good on.
I'll look at this though.
It's also good on Necrophos sometimes. You also see Envy buying that. It's a pretty good item for that hero. But very rarely do I think it's a good item on a support.
I mean, NiP, they're trying to go for a trade here, but it's a tier 2 for a tier 3. They need to come back for the defense, and it looks like Monkey Business playing this a little bit safe. They do back off after they've seen that they've forced back the reaction, and they're actually going to go straight in top. Maybe look for Limp. Limp, remnancing away. They'll try and chase it.
I think he's actually dead. Ooh. If they get a Mana Void off. Oh! Damn, he actually got away with that. I remember. Moonmeadow has had 1 or 2 TPs that were a little bit too short, so he couldn't get in range for Orchid. If you Orchid him, he's dead there. But just narrowly missing. It's not that important, though. Monkey are still executing their game plan. These kills are like a luxury, but not a requirement. In theory, they can win this game without getting a kill now. It's kind of boring to watch.
Well,
in a way,
25 minutes is 19 kills. It is a very kind of... It's a game of choices, really. There's decisions that each time NiP are making, and the Monkey Business are kind of making the better ones in terms of finding more across the map.
So to expand a little bit on what I was saying, is boring in a way. I think a lot of people enjoy watching Dota for the kills, and of course I can get behind that. It's great when there's a lot of action and the heroes are fighting each other. But I can really enjoy a strategic game. Like sometimes some of the best Dota games don't have that many kills. And if it's a well-executed split push and the teams are just pressuring really well, I think that's very enjoyable to watch. If it's both teams playing chicken, that's not so enjoyable to watch. But that's not the case at all. The teams are both playing really, really aggressively. It's just Monkey's lineup is better for this type of game. So I think it's enjoyable in a way to watch this, and I've been a fan of split push as long as I'm not the victim of it. I like watching it, just not playing against it.
Defensive nightmare here onto Jakiro. The snowball comes to Seal. Can Seal get blown up by the Man of Void? 2 heroes down. They'll try and move in though. Eris popped the ultimate, trying to go in for the fight. Jonas about vacuum onto 3. The wall's been dropped as well. They'll manage to ward themselves around it though. Now Miracle will blink himself out. There's gonna be TP out from Big Daddy. It may be Crit that's left for dead here. We'll throw back the shards. That might just say, but look at this Necro book. Go to work. Oh, it's gonna get killed by Miracle. Miracle's gonna stand there from the high ground. Just fire Barra. 1v1 me, son. 1v1 me. Where you at? Eric's got to back off. He can't win that fight against the anti-mage, and it's just going to be the 2 going down on the side of NiP. But well, very close to getting something off the back of Monkeys. They did get the Nature's Prophet at the end of that fight, and they do hold, but it did manage. They did have to buy back on Bane.
They bought back the Bane, and the one thing I think we didn't see on camera was that Limp manned up against Moon Meander, and it was a very, very close fight. Moon Meander with 1 extra proc on his Maelstrom would have actually got that kill.
Damn.
So clutch from Limp, making the right call in that situation, manning up, and yes, they do gain a little bit of gold, but again, it's not enough. And I think this Roshan is only going to go one way. Monkey can...
He's got a butterfly now.
Miracle can solo it.
27 minutes in this anti-mage. He's ridiculous. He's coming to 20k net worth. It's crazy. I mean...
They can't kill him.
Where's your MKBs on the side of NiP? I don't think we're going to see him all game.
They have to get one on Lycan as his next item, probably.
He's a long way away from it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this anti... I mean, you were already talking about how good the decisions were that the side of Monkey Business making. Obviously, Anti-Mage, in fact, hasn't died at all. Also, Moon Meander, even though he's been short on a couple of the TPs, but he's been playing the game very smartly. Hasn't died at all, never found himself caught out, and he's always been where NiP haven't been. There we go. NiP are going to look for the Roshan here. I'm sure Monkey Business will want to do something about it, though. They're grouped up towards the high ground. Roshan falling fairly fast here, so they're going to have to make some kind of action. Here we go. Straight in with the Raw and Seal Kid. Seal Kid's going to get taken out of the fight. Now here we go. It begins. Ice Blast being laid down. Moving in Miracle. Look at the damage this man's doing. There's going to be a vacuum on the wall onto the anti-mage, but they've already lost 2 on the side of NiP. Aaron's stuck in the trees. Limp's trying to get himself out of there. Crit coming in with the punches. The snowball as well. They find themselves the 3rd pick-off, and now they're looking for Limp. Man avoid to the face. Miracle gets himself a double kill, and this time NiP won't find a single kill back. And GG, well played. You talked about the strategy of this game, and Monkey Business just playing it as if they're the perfect. Well, I mean, everyone's just kind of stopped.
How often
now.
do you see a GG call minute 28 when you're behind 4 kills? It's just
reminiscent of TI4 finals.
I can actually appreciate that NiP called GG here, because that means they understand what happened and that they have the right read on the game, which is that they're very far behind. A lot of teams will continue playing on here, and honestly, the chance of winning this if Monkey Business play properly is 0%. So you have to rely on them to make some really key mistakes, but I think NiP, they realize it's over, they want to reset, re-go, get another game, and honestly, in this game, I don't know if I would say they played it poorly. I think I think Monkey Business, both teams played well, Monkey Business just played better. There weren't any really bad mistakes or anything. I think it was just strategically outplayed.
Yeah, I mean there were some fights obviously where the side of NiP were able to find some kills back off the side of Monkey